Is this recording? Yes. So I've just been rather amused by, being impressed by Pete's music setup, and just really amused by it because um, mine is a little different, and his is what I aspire to. You know, if you're working with any kind of technology, and you need some control over the environment, then having things minimal, having quite a clean room, you know, almost a laboratory kind of environment, and as little surplus as you can do with, and yeah, so almost sterile, but there's a lot to be said for even in with. I mean, you watch some of the. I watch some of the videos made by some of the American uh, electronic music people, and they'll just have the most sterile environments imaginable. But you know, it kind of extends into the rest of their lives, which I think is a bit questionable. But for like a working environment, you want it clean, functional. You can do this, you can do this, and everything's where it should be. Everything's that kind of minimal aesthetic, and sort of along the lines of that Japanese woman, chuck out anything you don't love, however it went. So anyway, guided tour of my studio. I'm in an old house, 300 odd years old. Let's start over here. So this is a dog fence, because Claudio, when he was a puppy, and still now, if I don't watch him, will piss on things. Electronic equipment doesn't like being pissed on. Dehumidifier. Ultra cheap Yamaha keyboard. Lyrics. Oh, Christ. Hope you like my new personality. Hope you like my new identity. I got it online. Blame the Cure. Oh God, and that's Michelle's handwriting. An X. Yeah. Electric fire not needed. A Pauly Mangiolele that I need to fix up. Oh, that's seen better days. I got it working nicely, and then it's sort of like things fall into chaos again. Here, generic cheapo MIDI keyboard. I did have quite a lot of fun with a. What was it called? Like a little confession about my setup. I was using Windows for quite a while because the sound card I had was could not get the drivers to work on Linux at all. And so I bit the bullet, installed probably Windows XP, and used this software that was just like a really basic digital audio workstation kind of thing. Into that, that's what I was trying to say. There's a very cheap Synthedit, I think it's called, Synthedit. And it was very easy to like design your own modular synth, and hook it up from MIDI. So like this was a very traditional, I think there was ADSR, like stick one of those on the tone and stick one on the filter, LFOs, filters, you know, like just so you could, like with this software, it was very easy to make an virtual analog synth. Lighting. Now But my income tends to go up and very down. I've been on a down for a bit now, but when I had some money, I got some. These were very nice until, well, they're a bit under spec, and I like loud music sometimes, and that's what happens. I blew the tweeters. Actually, my mother's acoustic there, which I bought for her and she's left here. Oh, here's signs of the age of the building and a few cobwebs. The console, well, the computer bit. You'll notice that this is on the table. That's because I had it on the floor before, and then the sound card I had, which was quite inexpensive but very functional 4-in 4-out sound card. It stopped working. I couldn't figure out why it had stopped working until I'd opened up the computer at the time. And it was because some mice had made a home in the back of it, and so it was full of mouse pee and poo. This one's open now because I was put in some more memory the other day, and why is it still up? Oh yeah, because I realised I didn't have a CD player, so this one didn't work very well. They were both out of the bottom drawer old ones from older machines. Running Ubuntu Studio. I'm not quite convinced by the XFCE desktop stuff. It's a bit, I'm not sure what you gain from it being lightweight when you're spending so much time looking for stuff. But, I've only got I think I've got 8 meg in there now of memory. And it's an old processor. After the rodent invasion, I just got a new case, new power supply, same old hard drives. But then, and then I got a pretty much the same motherboard and processor and just slapped those in to get it going again. Talking sub 100 euros there. But just recently I banged in some more memory, so it now feels like a new machine. My only little thing for minimalist stuff is probably this Blofeld, which are very, very good. But I want more knobs. If it's got all these things, then there should be knobs for all these things. It's a very, very nice piece of kit and relatively inexpensive. I think, 300 euros, something like that. And you can get some good synth sounds, and it will work as a sampler if I've still kept the software that I bloody well paid for. It's probably Windows software to use it as a sampler as well. But yeah, my problem with it is that it should, instead of having these multiplexed everything, it should just have it should be that big. It should be as big as that table with knobs side to side. A dog. That's Sasha. Another blown tweeter. That's quite an interesting instrument. Relatively cheap, these Gretsch. It's a baritone guitar, which hasn't got any strings on it at the moment. But, I was very disappointed when I got it because I thought, it's somewhere in between a guitar and a bass. And I really like the open E kind of sound. Think Link Ray sort of sound. An electric guitar and some of the metal stuff. When a normal guitar is dropped a bit. It was disappointing. It didn't quite work as I expected. But since I've heard some people playing picked chord based music on baritone guitars, and it is nice. It also needs a bit of restoration work. I bought it new, but I was sat. Oh well, hang on. Next thing is I've got this mixer. It's just one of these cheap Behringer things, which is a bit of overkill at the moment, given that I've only got that crappy little 2-in 2-out USB sound card on it. You know, it's all right though. I can get away with things. But I was sat here one day, and this was when the previous computer died on me. And I'd spent about a week, maybe 10 days, hours on many days. Here, show my face for this. I'd spent hours and hours for days on end, and I was in the zone. I was really focused on what I was doing, and I think what I was doing was really good. And I'd pretty much got, I don't know, maybe an hour's worth of material together. And I was just sort of like doing the final stages. And then the old computer, the whole lot of it just went. And it was thanks to the rodent infestation. And I'm not given to outbursts, really, even though I like a drink. You know, it's a rarity I'll actually lose my temper on anything. But I just completely lost it. And I'd got an acoustic guitar, a steel strung acoustic guitar in my hands at the time. And it went, and leaning forward, I discovered, yes, computer's dead, that drive's dead, and you forgot to do a backup. And I slammed the acoustic guitar against this mixer here. Well, acoustic guitars aren't actually built very strongly, and this is made out of sheet steel, and I managed to make a right old dent in it. I've hammered it out since. It was like that. And I've had to have it open. Like, you know, I'd split the PCB in numerous places. It took me ages to get that back together. Lighting, I like that light. No idea where I got it from. Might have found it locally, but it's like a factory light. And so I've got, factory. Low mid-range headphones, which are okay. So, like, you know, I can, even though I've blown the tweeters on these monitors, I can still monitor through that and get an idea. And when I want to actually hear what it's a bit clearer, just stick those on, and they're adequate quality, given the state of the low tech. Oh, God knows, the low tech ADC DAC thing. Sound card. I've got some outboard stuff. Patch Bay. That is compressor limiter. It's quite nice, but you know, I can't really be bothered with it. One of these cheapo multi-effects units. Not sure, it's probably a Behringer. It's the same kind of thing anyway, like really cheapo. But, you know, you find there are things on there that are quite wonderful. That is quite naff. That's an exciter, oral exciter thing. And, oh crap. I think Claudio must have peed on that because those, not used it in ages, and that's a bit crunchy. Very disappointing, really. You know, it looks like a nice rack thing, but basically it's probably about 2 op amps inside. A fairly linear power amp. I think it's 100 watts a channel. A little rated higher than the monitors, hence the blowout. Mics. This is sort of like, well, it was a mistake really. I should have just got the standard Shure ones. What's this? Not a 57. This is a similar Beta 57A. Slightly different, but I was convinced by the bullshit. It's meant to be better for vocals. I should have just got the standards. I'm going to slap it through one of these kind of valve things, because that's like all transistors and chips and electronics, so like sticking a valve in there, giving me some soft distortion. Some cables, many of which are horrible in the hand, even though I've washed them. I've had them in a sink, in a bowl full of soapy water. Odd instrument. Music stand, everybody needs a music stand. I've got like basic guitar amp, bass amp, and that's a valve, a tube guitar amp. Quite a nice sound on that for its size. It's good for making raucous things. Oh, there's the PP Monster. Of course, the Guitar Box guitar. Ukulele. What's that doing out? Because I'd hidden that. Bunch of random shit. My pedal board. Cowbell. Bass. Oh, I was watching this thing about Carol Kay, the bass player on lots and lots and lots of music we all know and love, and she taped a bit of felt on top, so I'm going to try next time I have a go with that. Just a Mexican Fender Precision bass. That is a Harley Benton. Really, really cheapo. I don't know, call it 100, 120 euro guitar. I think I got it from Tom Anna, I'm not sure. But with a little bit of tuning up, like a little bit of fret filing, swapped out the pickups for some decent pickups. It's actually a really good. The sound on it's wonderful, and it plays really well. And so I paid, call it 120 euros for the guitar itself, and it was adequate. But changing the pickups up, switching the pickups and doing a bit of fret filing and little tweaks here and there, and I don't know, probably paid 50, 60 euros for the pickups. And, I reckon it's comparable to some of the medium Gibson things. That's my guitar of choice, which is the Vinocaster. The body was made from a wine barrel, and I have messed around with those pickups endlessly, but that's the one. That's my go-to. Homemade. What else? Oh, yeah. The wires there going up to the ceiling actually concealing. The ceiling is concealing. Oh, that's what happened to the pop filter. It's concealing a drum kit. I've not actually got around to doing anything with this to speak of. It's a long story, but long and miserable story. I have had did have some enjoyable jams with Jacopo up here. Him hammering the drums and me doing guitar or whatever. And so anyway, I would like mark it up, send the lines down there. And that is why I want this CD thing. What have we got? Nirvana, Dr. John, Throbbing Gristle. Oh, Nocturnal Emissions, fancy. Sri Lankan Calypso Non-Stop. And the Upsetters collection, that'll do. And two doggies. Yeah, so there you have it. The window is double glazed. And the neighbours, I don't know if you can see, the neighbours is a little distance away. and they are behind double glazing in the back room most of the time, so I can play as loud as I like here. Problem is the tweeters blow. And yeah, there you have it really. That's the view of the whole thing. Yeah, yep, that's it. There you go. So, although I aspire to the minimalist thing, I end up with this.